This chamber's been here for 11 years, and folks that developed it were extremely safety conscious. They took a long time developing these chambers and make them very safe. They required us to go through quite a rigorous training, mostly in safety. We all went to San Antonio a couple of times and took some courses and some local courses, and were required to maintain certification. We have to do a fair amount of continuing education related to safety and operation. In addition to all the safety features that this came with, we've retrofitted the chamber with a number of upgrades. To go over some of the features of the chamber, they researched the flooring, the bumpers on the wall. This is very hard rubber. This is a brass band that secures it so that even a gorilla can't rip this off the wall. The retrofitted stuff, this material is 60% glass, 40% polyurethane. Our little safety valve for if the pressure exceeds 3 atmospheres, absolute. We have a camera in one of the ports, and then we have 2 light ports that go on top of the chamber, and these are acrylic. Very heavy acrylic ports that simply don't fail. They're extremely resilient and perfectly clear. So we have to, part of our safety protocol is to make sure there are no scratches on the acrylic and that there's no crazing. Some of the older chambers, they found that the wrong kind of light shining through the port all the time, acrylic port, would cause crazing. That doesn't happen anymore. But we'll take a credit card and scrape the inside of this, and if there's any little teeny nicks in the acrylic, we have to buff those out so we have perfect acrylic surfaces. This door, I forget how many thousand pounds this door weighs, but it's extremely heavy and it's very over-engineered. In order to swing it, there's a series of bearings, and the bearings have to be greased. And since we can't use any petroleum products, we have to use an oxygen-safe grease. Another safety feature we have, this is Fairfield Bain was instrumental in developing the chamber and a lot of the features. And this is, should we not be able to get into the chamber for some reason, if this door was not functional, if the doors were somehow blocking the door, we can come in through the back door. We depressurize the chamber and open the back door. That's called the Bain door. And it's like an extra emergency entrance door. And if we can go around to the back. This is the back side of the Bain door that we were talking about. We always have the wrench here if we have to get in for any reason. We haven't ever had to use it. So that's the Bain door, and this is the back side. And like I say, it looks like a submarine port. In addition, we've got 2 other safety features. One is a pressure relief system, so that should, for any reason, the pressure in the chamber exceed that pressure, there's a pressure relief valve system so that it's vented to the outside automatically. This is the Deluge water storage tank. This column of glass shows us where the water level is, and it's plenty full right now. The water level should be around here. We discharge this chamber weekly or sometimes after 2 weeks just to make sure it's working and to clean out the water so it doesn't corrode inside the chamber, inside the tank. There's a single lever that's pulled and it's right next to the vent, so if in the event of a problem, we vent the chamber and deluge at the same time. So the 2 levers are there together, so that's like the red handle button to if there's a problem. And again, that's not expected to be, but we're prepared if we have to do it. This is the oxygen coming into the building from the giant storage tank. Liquid oxygen is converted to a gas and then piped in from the outside and then piped through a series of valves into the chamber so that we slowly pressurize the chamber. All these are controlled not electronically, but with compressed air It's a little safer, a little more reliable. In terms of training and prepping horses to come in the chamber, the entire preparation for horses going in is to prevent any possible sparks from happening in the chamber. And they have to keep fuel and accelerants out of the chamber. So that means that no fly sprays are going to be allowed on the horse, nothing volatile, nothing. And humans, we do the same thing. Any perfumes, if you come in smelling like you just put perfume on, you're going to have to wash it off. Anything that is a volatile gas, which could act as an accelerant, like alcohol in your aftershave, can't go in the chamber. So the same thing with horses. We don't allow absorbing or alcohol rubs or leg braces. None of that is allowed in the chamber. Fly sprays. Technicians are trained to smell the horse. If they smell like fly spray, they're going to have to take a bath. We give them a bath anyway. But we don't let Vaseline or any of those accelerants in the chamber. Shoes. So even aluminum shoes with steel nails are not allowed, basically because steel on steel can cause a spark. Now we've eliminated all the steel on the inside of the chamber, so all shoes are pulled. Except for glue-on plastic shoes. I think that's the only exception we'll ever allow in the chamber. No nailed-on steel shoes ever. We take the halters they come with, we remove those, we put cotton halters on that are chamber safe, or the safest material we can put in the chamber is cotton, nylon, Velcro. None of those things are allowed. Velcro. In a dry climate, Velcro, when you snap or unsnap the Velcro, it'll cause a spark, or a little bit of static. So no Velcro. We do allow elasticon bandages, depending on what's under the bandages. We have to, if we can't see, we have to either interrogate or inspect under all the bandages to make sure that it's safe to go in the chamber. The horses, we assess their demeanor. But first time in the chamber, we tranquilize them just about anyway, because we don't, even though they might be perfectly happy, we don't know how they're going to react when the door's closed and the noise starts. So we always tranquilize them for their first experience, and we often tranquilize them for subsequent experiences too. There's no real downside. We use detomidine for a number of reasons, but mostly because it is the safe tranquilizer sedative to use. The alpha 2s. We avoid narcotics and respiratory depressants and some of the other tranquilizers. Detomidine is a drug of choice. Xylazine is probably is allowed, and so is ranitidine, but detomidine is what we almost always use intravenously and intramuscularly, and it works extremely well in the chamber. There's very few horses that are, even fractious horses, there are very few of them that don't respond well to the detomidine. If in fact they do seem to not be settling down, we slow down the descent, the pressurization, and if there's any behavioral issues whatsoever, if the horses just for whatever reason they're not happy, if they seem to have inner ear problems or any other issues, we'll bring them to the surface and take them out for any reason. So it's too important to maintain safety to risk any kind of behavioral problems in the chamber. So we never allow fractious horses to misbehave in the chamber, period. So if they're too fractious, they're not going in the chamber. So it's just safety overrides everything.